How's it going, everybody? Today is Friday, April 26, 2019, and the current time here is 3:10 p.m. When I started this. So I'm trying this live stream again. Twice now I've already tried. First time I got interrupted. Second time here, I was actually finally got a phone call, so I'm going to re-update this. But first off, ahead of time, I'd like to apologize for if I cough at all throughout my videos or my stream or whatever, because I'm still not feeling 100%. But anyways, a couple things I wanted to cover. So the reason why I had to stop my last live stream here and redo this again is my doctor actually, or the doctor's office finally called me here. So with the doctor's office, my nurse called, the nurse called for my doctor, I should say. And she's took the information that I gave her and she's going to refer it up to my doctor. She'll hopefully get back to me today before she leaves there. She's in the office till 5 o'clock. If she can't get back to me today, then she said it'll be Monday when she gets back to me, which is fine because I do have Monday, Tuesday off then. So then she'll let me know what the doctor says and whether or not I should be seen for it. She said if for any reason I start vomiting anymore throughout the weekend, or if I pass out or have any major medical emergencies or whatever, that I should, if I can make it down to St. Cloud VA, or up there, shall I say, to the St. Cloud VA and be seen at urgent care, that I should do so. So we're just going to see what happens. So that's where we're at right now. So I still have no result of why I'm dizzy all the time or getting this dizziness, or why I'm not feeling 100%. Why I'm tired and drained, don't have no energy and stuff like that. I mean, I get that I work a lot, but that, I've done this for how long, and I've never felt this horrible in my life. So or this bad during that process of working. So we'll see what they say on that. The second thing that I want to cover here is actually child support. So I had found this piece of paper from my second ex-wife that shows the login information for the child support case at the Minnesota Department of Human Services website, basically, that oversees it. I did log into the account because I just want to see if they changed any outlook, on there, or the look of it, or the the information that they provide on there. Unfortunately, they really didn't change much. But one thing I did notice is apparently they're in a hurry to prepare to get, to go after that child support on me, because I did notice that there was a second case in there for my soon-to-be ex-wife, Jamie. She decided that, or the courts or the state, I don't know who decided that, but they're already opening a case pending the outcome of the paperwork, whatever, from Grand Forks County. So I'm just waiting for the same paperwork from Grand Forks County, because I'm not filing shit with them. I did this. Grand Forks County, her attorney, the courts here, the dishonorable Michael Thompson, you name it, they're all just as guilty, and I have nothing good to say about any of them. So what I did learn is that basically I know law enforcement has been very corrupt, and I know that the court systems are just as corrupt. Attorneys are corrupt, and it was a very big prime example from this hearing, because I did go to the court hearing because that's what is specified in the paperwork. It had a date and everything on there. And that's what they said the purpose of it was, to hear, that they're requesting dismissal. And that's where they'll hear both sides, whatever, and determine if the dismissal is going to be granted or not. The soon-to-be ex-wife's attorney obviously has been filing paperwork with Grand Forks County, trying to find me in default. They're advancing the entire case on their end in Grand Forks County before it was ever dismissed here. And I found that kind of awkward, but now I realize why, because there is no fairness when it comes to the courts. There is no, actually do what's morally right, what's morally or legally, right. They don't see it that way. Judges become judges, based off of their attorney status. So when they're an attorney, more or less, they, for the cases that they win and their history, their background, the time that they've done cases and stuff, and been an attorney and their experience and stuff, eventually they can get, voted in to become a judge for the bench, I guess. Excuse me. So that's how they, that's where judges come from. So they've already been through this. So, obviously attorneys are, in most cases will favor attorneys, or judges will favor attorneys, because they're all in that same boat. So obviously I found it kind of odd that they did it this way. Well, now I realize why, because after going to the hearing and they dismissed the hearing, and now Grand Forks County has the jurisdiction, which technically is not legal jurisdiction, in my eyes, because of the pure fact that my daughter was kidnapped from me taken from state, without an affirmative thing, without me knowing about it, and stuff like that right away. She took her, left state, and she stayed with the grandparents and stuff. So I didn't authorize her to leave because she was registered for school here. I would have expected that my soon-to-be ex-wife would have actually found a place around here and actually let her stay at school here, and then had been reasonable or decent enough. I mean, I know that's high hopes, and I know that's like way off the chart to even presume that she would do such a thing. But I always give at least a little bit of hope to situations or people or whatever. I will try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they don't turn into something the same way my other exes had been. But she was registered for school here at ACGC. She was pulled from that and registered for a school up there again without my knowing about it until like a couple days prior to the start of school. So again, I had no say in it. I had no say with her leaving and stuff like that. So technically, that shouldn't have been taken for grounds for the fact that she lived in North Dakota for 6 months. That shouldn't have been taken into consideration because of the fact that there was no agreement between her and I at that time. On top of that, my daughter hasn't even been living with her mother. She's been living with the grandparents. So how is that even a suitable home? How is that even right? When she doesn't even live with her mother. I don't get it. But either way, so anyways, the point I'm getting at is that the judge dismissed it here, basically, without being blunt to me, called me an uneducated idiot, recommended that I should get an attorney that I can't afford, just like she can't afford it, but then her attorney's trying to milk me for $3,000 to pay her attorney back, to pay him back, because she chose to go after her for an attorney instead of doing it herself like I'm doing. The judge basically, like I said, also told me that I should have responded to their paperwork. Well, it doesn't specify in the paperwork that I have to respond directly to their paperwork. It says that if I have that 5-day thing that the judge was talking about, said that if I had any paperwork or information to submit, it has to be done 5 days or more prior to that actual hearing. Well, I had nothing to submit because I'm going to the hearing. I'm going to plead my case in there. So the way the judge read it, was wrong. I even read the paperwork myself. So after the fact, I skimmed it, beforehand. So I was like unaware because it didn't click because honestly, it never specified that I had to respond directly to the paperwork. It just said, if I have anything to provide, to submit at least 5 days prior to the hearing, or it will not be, submitted into that, case basically. So that was the reason for me to go to the hearing, was to plead my case. But apparently my pleading of my side doesn't mean jack squat. So then, of course, after all was said and done, the judge dismissed it here. So now Grand Forks County's got jurisdiction. And, of course, just like I said, I'm not responding to any of their paperwork. And now as far as all the other freaking paperwork that I've ever filled out and shit, I got it all over here in a pile. It's today I'm going to go through and shred my paperwork. So I'm selling all my crap. I'm done. I've already sold my Xbox. I've sold all my games with it. So I brought that to my job. So it used to be right down here. You can kind of see that little hole right here. It used to be right here on the top shelf with all my games. It's gone. So I have nothing for gaming except for my computer. But I don't even have my 360 controller either because I sold that as well. So now I'm just preparing for the worst. So as I said, once we know it's coming. Once I get that paperwork from the court system in Grand Forks County, finalizing the divorce or whatever and making the official decree and documentation or whatever for it, as soon as I receive that paperwork, I'm going, my job's already aware of it that I'm going to put my 2-week notice in. So they know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. So there's no point in me working 2 full-time jobs to burn myself out. I'm burned out enough as is, but because I'm paying $913 a month to my second ex-wife, Wendy, which I have no say over this, anything about seeing my kids. The courts don't enforce her to do anything because I have no custody order. So my kids don't know me. So Dominic and Jaden, if you ever, watch YouTube videos out here and you come across my channel, understand that your mother is using you to gain money. She's putting a price on your head. She's making money off of you from me, and I'm not allowed to have anything to do with you. So do keep that in mind. If you ever do watch these videos, understand that I tried to fight for you. I tried to go to the court and explain my side of the story. I tried to get them to force your mother to let you see me. But all she did is she got you kids, as you were growing up because you were so young, you didn't know any better, that she got you guys calling her new husband, Mark, got you guys calling him dad. So do keep in mind that's not something that I had any control over. So Anyways, excuse me about that. Dominic Jaden, just know that. And now on top of that $913 a month, they're trying to milk me for $836 a month here with this most recent divorce that I'm going to be going through. So that'd be $1,700 a freaking month. My gross, let's say at my GameStop job is maybe like $2,000 a month. So my net, because after child support taken out of there just from the one job, and then the medical, dental, life, vision, all that stuff, I take home every 2 weeks $160. That's all I get out of my paycheck, $160 freaking dollars. And how they expect somebody to live off of that is beyond me. If it wasn't for my VA disability, then I definitely would not have this home over my head right now. But pretty soon I won't have this over my head anyways because I won't be able to afford it anyhow. Especially since they want to milk me for another $836. So you take that out of my other job, my $80-some thousand. Well, now it's well over $100,000 worth of debt because of car payments, student loans, credit cards, my daily, or not daily, daily expenses plus my monthly expenses for current bills and stuff, cell phone, internet, car insurance, electric bill, you name it. So, anyways, so there's no point in me. I'm not going to go out and get a third job because how can anybody humanly possible go out and apply for a third freaking job and work 3 full-time jobs and be able to find any time to sleep in there? This is unhealthy. I'm not here to wreck my health for their pleasure, their gain. Screw that crap. So, like I said, as soon as I get the paperwork, I'm filing my 2-week notice, with both my jobs, and I'm going to ride it out. And then if they want to go after my VA disability payments, that I so, served for, and now, with my mental and my disabilities, from my mental depression, anxiety to my back and my legs with the neuropathy and the pain that I suffer day in and day out. If they want to go after that money, then fine. All it is the government paying my child support for me then. I'm not paying. I'm not going to pay out of my own money. I'm not working my ass off. It's not that I don't want to support my kids because I love all my kids. I mean, even if they hate me, they've told me that they've hated me on numerous occasions. So even so, I don't hate my kids. I love all my kids, and I always said that as long as I'm around and living, I will be there for them as best as I can, within my limits and stuff. So I don't use my kids as child support pawns. I don't use them for child support, monetary gain. I have no reason to ever use them if I ever had custody of it because I don't believe in that crap. The moment you put a price on your child's head like that is the moment you say that they're not worth a human life that they live. You're saying that they're only. You can't have both. You can't love a child and collect child support off of it, because if you collecting child support off of a child instead of adequately working with your children's other parent, so in case the roles are reversed here, whatever, but if you don't want to work with your children's other parent and be civilized and not use your kids for child support and share custody and share visitation and share expenses, then that just means that you're about the money. And the moment you're about that money is the moment that you're greedy and you don't care about your children's well-being. You can't have both. Because the moment you take that monetary value and you put it on your child's head is the moment that you say your child's life isn't worth it, basically. So you can say all you want, you can plead all you want, you can try to disagree with me. I honestly don't care, but I'm telling you that's what it is right now, and that's why I would never put a price on my child's head because they are priceless. There is no price on it. They are priceless, and I would do anything for my kids as within my limitations and what I can afford to do. So. Again, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but they can go after my VA disability, take that. The government will be paying my child support, but I will not have a home. I will be losing my car. The crap that you see behind me is all going to get sold anyways. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the other room. I'm still working on the details. I got the rest. I got until I have to work tonight, and then I got tomorrow during the day off again. But then I have to work Sunday, but then I have Monday, Tuesday off. So my ultimate goal here is to finish shredding the paperwork, sorting, getting my stuff posted for sale. And then I got to figure out the trailer and hitch situation and renting a storage shed. So the stuff that's in the bedroom behind me back there, I got to get that loaded up, bring it to the storage shed. So that way I can let my mom know, and I'm going to rent it for 2 months. I'm going to give her 2 months because I don't know how much time will be left in that first month. So I'll give her 2 months, which will be the remainder of the 1 month, and then a full month after that. And then my mom's going to relay the message to her because I got nothing to say to my soon-to-be ex-wife. I don't want anything to do with her. I'm disgusted with her. She is a horrible person. I thought she was different. I thought she'd be different than any of it, but she is no different than any of my exes. When you use a child support or child for child support threat, clearly it's sickening. It's very sickening. So, and she's threatened me on numerous occasions. She's also thrown a table at my daughter's table at me, and I've had a restraining order against her once before because of that. That conflicted hardcore with being able to see my daughter because the judge allowed her access to my daughter regardless of the violence that she committed. So then it was hard to rearrange anything with this 3-hour travel in order to see my daughter and stuff. I mean, so I had to drop that restraining order. The purpose of the restraining order is to protect, and that's the reason why I included my daughter in there, is to protect my daughter and myself from her. But obviously that didn't matter either. So the court systems, like I said, I don't trust cops and stuff. So enough of my babble on that, because I'm sure you guys already heard plenty of that in previous videos that I've done. I know I tend to repeat myself, and I apologize, but it's a way to catch people up, to let you know nothing's changed. The same crap is happening. So the next thing I've been working on is paperwork. The paperwork is basically preparing for the worst end here. So one of them is, these are like Minnesota. I've been going through trying to find the online paperwork for it, basically filling it out the best that I can. One of them is called a POLST. It's Paul, Ocean, Lincoln, Sam, Tom. It's provider orders for life-sustaining treatment. In other words, another technical term for it is a DNR, do not resuscitate order. Basically, with this information, it has my name, my date of birth, my doctor's name on there. It has sections to complete. Section A is basically cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which is CPR. So basically pumping on the chest, trying to get your heart started again. I put on there, do not attempt, just allow natural death. If the cardiopulmonary arrest is not immediate there, so if basically CPR is not required, like I'm still alive, then they go on to B, which is medical treatments. Patient has pulse and or is breathing. There's 3 different treatment plans on there. The first one is full treatment, which is including life support measures in the intensive care unit. That would be included for advanced airway interventions, mechanical ventilation as indicated, transfer to hospital and or intensive care unit if indicated. All patients will receive comfort-focused treatment. I did not choose that one. The next one is selective treatment, use medical treatment, antibiotics, IV fluids, and cardiac monitor as indicated. Basically, there will be no intubations and there will be no transfer to the hospital unless it's indicated. Generally avoid the intensive care unit if you are transferred to a hospital, and all patients will receive comfort-focused treatments. This treatment plan is basically to provide basic medical treatments aimed at treating new or reversible illness. The last one is comfort, which I did not select that either. Last one is comfort-focused treatment, allow natural death, relieve pain and suffering through the use of any medication by any route, positioning, wound care, and other measures. Use oxygen, suction, and manual treatment of airway obstruction as needed for comfort. So it's not there to revive you if you had blockage of your airway, but if you had, let's say, mucus in the airway, they would suction it out to make it a little bit more comfortable, so you're not like feeling like you're choking on it. It's a way to help you not feel the pain. Basically, with that natural death, I did that. I chose that as an option. The comfort-focused treatment, allow natural death. Treatment plan is to maximize comfort through symptoms management. Section C, documentation of discussion is basically with the patient, court-appointed guardian, other surrogate, parent of minor, healthcare agent, healthcare directive. I have none of the above other than the patient myself. I've already signed off on it. I just got to bring this in to the doctor to make to go over the details and get him to sign off. But I signed off on that one, and I marked it as patient because I have the capacity to understand this paperwork and what I'm signing. Then Section D is the signature of the physician, APRN or PA. Then the next section after that is E, which is additional patient preferences, which is optional, artificially administered nutrition, which is basically offering food by mouth if feasible. The first block is long-term artificial nutrition by tube. Did not select that. Define trial period of artificial nutrition by tube. It's like a partial nutrition process. Basically, get you a little bit of nutrition, but not continuous ongoing care with it. Or the last one is no artificial nutrition by tube, which is the one that I chose. Antibiotics, use IVIM antibiotic treatment. I did not choose that. Oral antibiotics only, no IVIM. So only if I could swallow or, that I would take it. I did not choose that. And the last one I chose was no antibiotics. Use other methods to relieve symptoms when available, or when possible, sorry. Last one is additional patient preferences. This is basically just a comment section, more or less. I wrote in there, no resuscitation efforts in any shape or form. Only provide pain medication as needed to ease the pain and make comfortable as possible for the patient until natural death occurs. So I got that all filled out, and I just need to get the doctor to sign off on that one. The next paperwork that I did was Living Will, Advanced Healthcare Directive. It has my name at the top. In the event that the time comes and I am incapacitated to the point that I am no longer able to actively take part in decisions for my own life and I am unable to direct my healthcare physicians as to my own medical care, I hereby authorize this Living Will as my Advanced Healthcare Directive to stand as a testament of my wishes. It's kind of pretty close to a DNR in a sense, but DNR is your primary, and Advanced Healthcare Directive is more or less assigning an advocate to make medical decisions to me. If it's not in my DNR or directive for it, they can make anything as long as it follows in the best nature as close to my wishes. So basically it says I and then my name, residing at my address in the county of, in the state of Minnesota, and the zip code of, and whose telephone number is, being of sound mind and acting willingly and without duress, fraud, or undue influence herein, direct that the instructions provided herein are to be recognized as a formal statement of my desires with regards to my health care, custody, and medical treatment, and as such I hereby voluntarily declare and make this designation with regards to my Living Will, or aka Advanced Healthcare Directive and or Healthcare Proxy. These instructions and directives shall be binding upon all involved to the fullest extent allowable by law. There is a couple states, that do like the death by dignity laws. In the United States, not very many, and I know there's a couple countries out there that do it. Death by dignity, or death with dignity, I guess, is basically, it's a way of, in a sense, like for people to commit suicide, I guess, to a point, but it's assisted suicide. To help them ease, like if somebody, let's say, has a terminal illness. There was a girl that there was a story about where she had like a brain tumor and she was having seizures and stuff quite frequently, and it was terminal, so there was no chance of recovering from it. She chose that option, so she moved from the state she lived to one of the states that has death with dignity, so she could die in a humane manner that she felt humane, because unfortunately the government thinks that they own everybody's life and that the person shouldn't be able to decide for themselves which way they want to die. So, but there are a couple states and a couple countries that do honor that out there. So, which is, I give respect to those places. But anyways, so next part says designation of healthcare advocate. I chose an advocate, so name is not aforementioned in here. I will not explain who it is, but it provides the name, address, and phone number of the person as the advocate and agent to make any and all healthcare decisions on my behalf should I ever be diagnosed with a terminal illness, disease, injury, or should I become incapacitated or permanently unconscious in a coma or persistent vegetative state. PVC is a short abbreviation they gave for that, where I would remain permanently unable to make decisions. Advocates' general powers. Their powers would be my healthcare advocate or agent shall have the power to make healthcare, custody, and medical treatment decisions on my behalf. If my attending or primary physician makes a determination that I am unable to make said decisions, I have specific directives regarding the delivery of medical and certain healthcare conditions. Therefore, I wish to direct my medical treatment by the way of the following conditions. Now, the DNR, is, like I said, is not much different from this, so it goes down here to life-sustaining medical treatment. Should any of the aforementioned events occur, I wish to leave the following directives regarding the treatment and procedures which may be used, withheld, or withdrawn. Excuse me. So with this, there's a lot of sections in here. They have this pre-written, and you can tell where you got to insert something like your name or the address and stuff like that. So I made sure to bold it to show that was inserted. So in these ones, basically, you would have to choose whether you accept or decline, basically, the forms of treatment. Should any of the aforementioned events occur, I wish to leave the following directives. So basically, I wish to, and I chose refuse, decline, cardiac resuscitation, which is CPR, an attempt to prolong my life. That was already marked in the DNR, as I mentioned before. I wish to refuse, decline life support, respirators, ventilators, used in an effort to replace or support my natural breathing. Again, DNR, same concept. I wish to refuse, decline tube feeding or any other artificial or invasive form of nutrition, food, or hydration water. Again, same thing in the other one. I wish to refuse, decline blood or blood products. That'd be like if you had a blood clot, you need blood thinners, or you need a blood transfusion. It's refusing that. So I refuse, decline that. I wish to refuse, decline any form of surgery or invasive diagnostic tests. I wish to decline kidney dialysis. I wish to decline antibiotics or medication in an attempt to try and prolong my life. I understand that if I do not specifically indicate my preferences above regarding any of the forms of treatment, I may be subjected to that form. So since I declined it all, they can't do any of it. The next section is comfort and pain relief, which was also in there before. That was also the Section B. So Section A kind of did the first part of that. Section B of the DNR was relates to the comfort and pain relief. With regards to this, I herein provide the following directives. I wish to accept maximum pain relief medication. I wish to accept maximum pain relief medication if it may unintentionally hasten my death. So basically, if they gave you so much pain medication that it caused you to die quicker, then you accept that. I wish to accept maximum pain relief medication if it may result in temporary addiction should I survive, recover, or rebound from my current conditions and/or extended hospital stay. So the advocate's obligation, so the person that I assign as an advocate, my appointed advocate or agent shall make healthcare decisions on my behalf in accordance with my other wishes known to my advocate or agent. To the extent that my wishes are not known to my advocate or agent, my advocate or agent shall make the necessary healthcare decisions for me in accordance to what my advocate deems to be in my best interest. In determining those best interests, my advocate shall take into consideration my personal values to the extent known to the advocate. So basically, they have to comply with whatever's in my forms. If some issue occurs or arises that wasn't originally listed here, then they would make that decision as well. But then they would have to make sure to find it in the best interest and follow as close to the guidelines as they possibly can. Regarding end-of-life decisions, I direct my healthcare advocate, healthcare provider, and others who may be involved in my healthcare to withhold or withdraw treatment in accordance with the choice I have indicated below, which I could fill out there. I'm going to have to handwrite that one, actually, but I'm going to see the healthcare directive. I just noticed, I guess I missed a part in there to fill that one out. The declarant statement and signature. This instrument shall be governed by the states of Minnesota, and I respectfully request that it be honored in any state in which I may reside at the time that this living will shall take effect. So as soon as this is signed and actually in effect, whether I stay here in Minnesota or move to another state, any state shall honor the same terms. By signing below, I certify that I am fully aware and completely understand the contents of this document and that I am a sound body and mind. Furthermore, I am of the legal age of consent, which in most states is age of 18, or unless you are legally emancipated, then that would be considered legal. But otherwise, most are the age of 18. And that I'm not under any influence, fraud, or duress. The witnesses, this living will, aka Advanced Health Directive and or Healthcare Proxy, must be signed by 2 adult witnesses that are personally present when I sign the document. And then the last piece of that says witness statement. I certify that I'm 18 years of age or older and that I know that the declarant personally or have been provided with valid identification to his or her identity. So this is basically for the witnesses, that they're at least 18 or older and that they have that I have proved who I am to them. And that they believe that I'm in sound mind and are under no duress, fraud, or undue influence. The declarant has had the opportunity to read the document and has signed or acknowledged his or her signature or mark in my presence. Under a penalty or perjury, I declare that I am not related to the declarant by blood, marriage, or adoption, nor am I responsible for his or her medical care or costs. Furthermore, I am not the primary or attending physician or an employee of the physician or other healthcare provider or current care facility for the declarant. I also attest that I am not an employee of any life or health insurance provider, nor am I involved with the direct physical care of the declarant. Further, I have no claim to the declarant's estate, and to the best of my knowledge, I am not entitled to any part of the declarant's estate upon his or her death, with any will now in existence or by any other process of the law. And then basically it would be me signing as a declarant, and then there's 2 witnesses that would sign, and then they provide their address and telephone numbers. And then there's a notary public certificate of acknowledgement, which is basically best thing to do is take this with 2 witnesses and to a notary and just do it in front of the notary, so the notary can also sign and say that they witnessed it, more or less. So that is the 2 that I have filled out at the moment. I still got to go through all the other paperwork, which I'm going to keep on working on. As I fill that out and finish that, I will follow up on that with you guys. Again, once I hear back from my doctor with any reference to what he believes I should do, I will keep you posted on that. Other than that, I don't know much else as of right now. I'm just taking it one day at a time. So I appreciate you joining me here for this short live stream. It's about 30 minutes long, so it didn't take too long as compared to my other ones. So I will keep you updated with future videos. Make sure you subscribe, like the videos, turn on notifications if you want to be notified of any other live stream events or videos that I post, and then share the videos, get the word out. Get people to subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. So the more the better. I want this word out there. So, but again, thank you for joining me. You guys have a great day, and I will be in touch soon. Thank you.